Hello, I'm playing Calamity Mod, and today we'll be taking on its final challenge, the boss rush. All we need is to obtain the Terminus. Unfortunately, made the mistake of crafting it into the Terminus shrine, which does literally nothing. We've got to go get another Terminus. Back to the abyss we go. At last, we've gotten to the Terminus yet again. This time, let's not waste it. All that remains is spawning in our minions for extra damage, and let's challenge the boss rush. It's worth noting that there's a bit of a monologue before the fight actually starts, so if you don't care for that, the actual fighting starts at 2:15. How long has it been? Centuries, perhaps even a millennia? I sank this artifact of mine to the deepest depths of the world to prevent it from being used ever again. Few are aware of its existence, and those who are, they know that the boundless power it was once able to provide can no longer be taken advantage of. It is a surprise to see there is another who is courageous enough to have retrieved it, particularly given these circumstances. A mortal this time, no less. How interesting. What exactly is it that made you go out of your way to claim what is now nothing more than a decaying stone tablet? Perhaps this is an opportunity. Claiming this relic is no small feat, and I have caught brief glimpses of your journey. You, who claimed this artifact that ended an era on your quest to end another, who slew the nameless serpent, who bested even my old friend, the Phoenix, whose power may match the only mortal who has ever made me doubt my own. I wish to test your strength, using fragments of my primordial light, taking the form of your past foes. It will be no easy task, yet should you prove yourself strong enough, I will have a proposal for you. Do you believe yourself capable of conquering such a challenge?
Fight!
With that, the boss rush has begun, starting with King Slime. Now, you may notice that he has significantly more health than usual. This is a very astute observation, as usually King Slime does not have 600,000 health. In fact, what's happening is that the boss rush is significantly buffing bosses that are fought at the beginning of the game, slightly reducing the buffs given to them the later on in the game they're fought, up to Supreme Witch Calamitas, who receives no buffs at all, and must be fought as normal after defeating every other boss. Of course, it's not just health bonuses. Bosses deal more damage, have improved boss AI, and have their attacks upgraded in different ways. Safe to say that while this fight will be many things, easy is not one of them. With the Wall of Flesh defeated, we're on to Phase 2 of the boss rush. This phase contains the hard mode bosses, starting with Queen Slime. onto Cryogen, and you'll notice that while we're still melting the bosses, no pun intended, it's taking longer to do so. The twins, for whatever reason though, only took 2 hits. Brimstone Elemental is our first boss that survives long enough to do multiple different attacks. Onto the Calamitas clone. Each attack deals upwards of 200 damage. Already, mistakes are becoming punishing. That hit marks the first time we've fallen below half health in this entire fight. Fortunately, Draydon's heart provides immense healing, which, combined with our lifesteal, will be our lifeline later on. Calamitas clone down. Plantera died insanely fast, and with that, we're on to phase 3 of the boss rush, starting with Anahita and the Leviathan. From here on out, the bosses have enough health that it's justifiable to use Rage Mode for the extra DPS. Golem is an absolute unit. He spams projectiles and each one deals 200 damage. Not to mention, he also moves extremely fast. He's dangerous. Fortunately, the Plaguebringer is much easier to hit and allows me to heal back up thanks to lifesteal. The Empress of Light looks scary, but she's more of a glass cannon, which gets crushed by my DPS. Duke Fishron is easy enough until he goes into his final phase. You'll see why in a moment. Thankfully, we have good healing, or he would have ended the run. The Moon Lord has awoken. With Moon Lord down, we're now onto phase 4 of the boss rush. Phase 4 starts with the Profaned Guardian. With Providence down, we're now battling against the Devourer's Sentinels. The last Sentinel has been defeated. Onto Poltergeist. Poltergeist got melted. Only the old Duke stands between us and the Devourer of Gods. Old Duke defeated, Devourer of Gods awoken. With the Devourer of Gods defeated, we're now entering the final phase of the boss rush, Phase 5. Phase 5 begins with Yaron, Dragon of Rebirth. Yaron insta-killed us because we enraged him. I wanted more survivability, so I swapped to Auric Tesla armor. If you're still watching, it's likely you're enjoying the video. Please consider subscribing. It shows me you enjoyed the video and helps me make better content. It's free and you can unsubscribe at any time. But anyways, let's get back to the boss rush. Since we didn't enrage Yaron this time, the fight was straightforward. Only Dradon and Calamitas remain. Thanks to our weapon, even the Exomechs are getting shredded. The Exomechs have been defeated, only Supreme Witch Calamitas remains. And of course, I butterfingered my 400 health heal. I'm sure that won't cause me any problems whatsoever. Each hit sets me back 250 health, and these bullet hells aren't getting any easier. We've gotten her to half health. Now she's making the vortex that will chase us down for the rest of the battle. This is where it gets serious. We're entering the final bullet hell. Survive, and victory is all but guaranteed. Unfortunately, it seems I ran into every single projectile possible. We reached her final phase, but because we took so much damage earlier, it only took one hit for us to die. The Scarlet Devil works great, if I can actually land my attacks. But when the target is moving erratically, like Calamitas, it's very hard to actually deal damage, which is why I want a second weapon for those situations. Fortunately, that weapon exists, and it's called the Nano Black Reaper. With all the materials gathered, we can craft up our trusty Nano Black Reaper. A quick reforge to flawless, and look at those stats. This will work much better against those pesky moving targets. Some more survivability would also be great. And since I'm not able to charge stealth strikes in the middle of battle anyways, I'll be swapping out my Eclipse Mirror for the Chalice of the Blood God. I also realized that my accessory reforges are awful, so I reforged all of them to Menacing for extra DPS. At last, we're able to challenge the boss rush once again. I'll cut back once I've reached Supreme Calamitas again. Let's hope this time, we don't waste our heal in the middle of battle. I also remembered that I have the Exo Gaming Chair, which makes dodging these bullet hells so much easier. Nano Black Reaper in action gives us way more consistent DPS, since we aren't missing every other attack. Calamitas is half health. But more importantly, we use the heal properly. There's no way this can be lost. Is what I would have said if I didn't immediately after lose almost all of my health with all my healing on cooldown. Or is it? Thanks to the Scarlet Devil, we got a 200 health heal that kept us alive until our cooldown timers expired. The Vortex is resummoned. We're almost back to where we died last time. We've reached the bullet hell that ended our run last time. Let's hope all our upgrades help us survive it. The Sepulchre is resummoned. This is the final phase we need to survive. The hearts are down. It's a DPS race to the end. That's it. We defeated Supreme Witch Calamitas. A truly excellent display. I see that I was correct. You indeed may be this world's mightiest warrior. However, it seems as though even that power, it is not enough. I'm afraid I will not be sharing my proposal with you. Though, as a consolation prize, I wish for you to take this ancient stone I carved from the Eyrie. I have long held it as a keepsake of sorts. Though you may have failed to meet my requirements, it is unlikely that this will be the only time our paths cross. Continue to seek greater strength, and when we meet again, perhaps you will have grown enough in power to be worthy. In the meantime, I have my own matters that I must attend to. Farewell, for now. We got a rock. When the battle was finally over, the dust having just began to settle, where even the stone refused the course of time, there sat a monk who dared to question history and stare into fate. What is the true price of the past being ever eternal? Why must our future forever haunt us? We can craft the level 3 Terminus Shrine. Unfortunately, we can only make it during April Fool's Week, but that doesn't matter since it doesn't do anything anyways. We'll place down our altar and our rock. And with that, we finished Calamity Mod. We took down every boss on this journey, every challenge, and every battle. As you can see, our boss log is complete. There's a few entries that are bugged out because we defeated those ones a long time ago, so the mod pack doesn't recognize it, but ultimately, it's 100% complete. Thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed watching this journey of mine as much as I did making it. As for what the next series will be about, I'm thinking I'll do a playthrough of Ark Survival Evolved. But anyways, thanks for watching, I hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you next time. Peace out.